Here with Mr. West Coast himself. What up, Johnny?
Cooling, man. I literally just got back from LA. I just got back. And tomorrow I need to go to Charlotte to handle some stuff. But trying to, clear my head, everything, just trying to clear my head to be 100 with you, man.
Guess we're going to talk about an uncomfortable topic. You coming from LA, you being a Philly guy. PnB Rock just passed, and rest in peace to him.
Yeah.
It was somebody that you knew.
Yeah. PnB Rock, it just hurt. Like, how can I explain it? Like, well, I'm not trying to get like emotional. Like, PnB Rock is a good dude. Like, me and him real cool. Him and my brother Ortiz, who's also a musician, they real tight. When every time we was out Cali, that's who we was with a lot. Just over the whole situation. Been knew him for years. Been knew him since he was like right before the fame. I remember say as a starting artist coming up, and just by knowing him, and then like what the situation just happened. Like briefly, we spoke to him like not that long before that. Him and my brother was gonna link up that evening, and then that shit just happened. Like it hurts because it's always, you always think like, what if? Like, one thing about Rock, I can tell you about Rock, during the situation is like a mature. So he was on probation because of having a big entourage around him. Like when this whole situation, when he got locked up in Ben Salem, it wasn't him, it's an entourage, and since you're the name of the entourage, you the point. Mm-hmm. So, he got locked up for a little bit. And then after that situation, when he got out, he was just like, I need to move to LA. And then, when he moved to LA, we got back and really in touch, especially with him and my brother. So we at his crib and we just speaking about it, like we venting to each other. He tells me the reason, like, he don't be around big entourage because he's in trouble. Like in LA, he feels comfortable. One thing I can say about him is he wasn't in the streets or none of that. He would really just be with his baby mom, chill in the crib, studio, and go back and forth between LA and Atlanta. So it just hurts when you see that maturity, and we had a lot of big situations that we was going to come together on. Like we was going to help him with his community service. Him and my brother was going to do way more projects together, and it's crazy. His last song, was it We Love? We was actually in the studio when he was making it. So it's hard to say because he was ready for the second chapter in his career. Like he was excited about being independent because he was stuck in a bad label deal. Where so just to see him be in the second phase of his career and happy, and he coming like on a mature level, we speaking about, it could be stuff like finances, helping him out with the community work, just getting him back on point. And he wanted me and my brother to play a big part in just them two music wise, and they was going to drop a lot of projects together, and it just happened. It just hurts that one thing I know about LA is what I can say is, like, what I question is, I wish, all right, if you going to Roscoe's Chicken, me, I got a little bouginess in me. I know the politics of LA. I've been out there so long, but I'm not going to Crenshaw. And I get why, like, I'm not going to put the pressure all on his girl, because we get it when you, just anywhere, when you're a celeb or you got notoriety, you never post your location during the time you at that location. I get that, but, Rock, one thing I can say is Rock was always comfortable where he was walking by himself or with his girl. Even when at my brother's event when they performed together, luckily I was outside, and I even told Rock, like, bro, you out here with jewelry, and even though it's Hollywood, you still famous. One thing about Rock is he was never looked at himself as he's bigger than anybody. So he felt comfortable walking because he looked at himself as human. He never looked at himself as, oh yeah, I'm that big famous person, which came to hurt. And then also, I could tell you right now, 3-4 years ago, the people was around Rock, that shit would have never happened. If you would have tried to rob him, you would have been prepared to crash out. So it just hurts. Like, it really hurts. Like, when that happened, I just broke down. I found out probably like, what, 5 minutes after the shooting, you know, all his family is really out here. It was just him and his girl, and he had a couple artists with him that we tried to call, but we couldn't, you know, figure out the whole situation, what hospital he was at, or, you know, after a shooting, especially on somebody on his level of fame, they're not going to give up the name of the hospital and stuff like that. But yeah, just, you know, especially seeing my brother, and especially seeing that video, it just broke down. Like, it definitely hurt. But one thing I can say is he was definitely a good dude. Sometimes you question God's plans, and he shouldn't have went out like that. And it's unfair. And one thing about being from Philly compared to LA is, like, even in this area look more hood than Crenshaw. Crenshaw is beautiful. You got palm trees, blue skies, no bandos. You can kind of tell it's hood through the people, but you in paradise compared to somebody being in Philly. You just gotta know the politics, even though PnB knew the politics, because he knows a couple people. We speak about it. Like, we knew the politics. We know OGs out there, but it's just, we feel comfortable because we're happy in LA. Somebody like me, I just think more. Like, you gotta have a little bit of bouginess in them. Like, I'm not going to Crenshaw to go eat dinner with my girl. I'd rather, if I'm taking a Roscoe's, first of all, I'm going to take her to Sweet Chicks anyway on Fairfax. That's way better. But if I'm going to Roscoe's, I'm either going to Hollywood or Pico. But yeah, this shit, it just hurts. It just hurts. It's like, why? Then the police report saying that he was giving up his chain and they still shot him. Like, one thing you gotta know is a lot of envy. That's why, you know, I'm not even a celebrity and I move different. I just move different because you don't never know when, like, just human nature is people jealous of. If they see you doing good, they do anything to see you down, and that's what happened with Rock. Like, there's a bunch of questions. We can't see all the videos. I know the areas of politics, so, you know, I don't want to name who people think did it, the group wise and all that, because I'm not into that. But yeah, R.I.P. Rest up Rock, man. And it's crazy to see. Like, it's like watching his career progress and him smartening up, as not just as a person but on a business level. Like, he could come up, talk to you, be real with you. Like, it's just hard. It's just hard. Like, I can't, like, I don't know. It's just hard. It's just hard to see it, and it just hurt. And it's a lot of you know, funny stories you have with Rock. Good guy. Yeah, just great conversations, and all I can try to do is think of our best memories together and stuff like that. Especially him and my brother, who they was real tight. They was real close friends, and just that he's gone now, it's still like a movie to me. It's like I'm trying to clear my head to figure out this is reality. So
I want to transition into athletes, your sports consultants, celebrities, private security.
Yes.
Is that something that every athlete and every celebrity should look into once they reach a certain level?
Yeah, for sure. You know, not to put information out, but, you know, when it comes to Rock and people judge it, you know, a lot of people can't afford a lot of private security. That's why they use their friends. Mm-hmm. So, but when you hit a certain status, you definitely need security. It's not to feel like, oh yeah, I gotta walk around. It's like, no, you're always a target. Everybody knows everybody's vulnerable. Like, one thing about us, especially, you know, the Philly energy, stuff like that, we want to be like, yo, we can touch anywhere, ain't nobody gonna check me, this and that. As a human, you're vulnerable. So you definitely need security when you hit a certain level. And, you know, not to judge on people, like, a lot of people, of course, entourages, when they crazy, if you're gonna have your entourage, it's good. Like, if you're gonna have your entourage, if I was people, try to put them in security, own a security company with them. But just don't have your entourage acting crazy around you if they got to be your security. But you definitely need security. If you're on a certain level, you shouldn't be moving around by yourself. That's one thing. If you go into the stores, you shouldn't be the one going to the stores. I tell all clients, all athletes that all the time. Even little stuff like Uber Eats, it shouldn't be under your name. So yeah, when you on a certain level of notoriety, you gotta smarten up. You gotta be wiser. You gotta calculate each move, because wrong decision, like we just seen with Rock, can cause your life and shorten your life. Because a lot of people angry out here. So yeah, if you definitely afford it, you definitely need security for sure.